We are back with another episode of Not Just Another Story. This week we've got up and coming rapper based in the Northeast. Correct us if I pronounce this wrong. Is it Katiyo?
Katiyo.
Oh, that's twice I've done that. I've got it right. 2 weeks in a row now. So, mate, thank you very much for coming on. How you doing?
I'm good. Just literally working. How about yourself?
I'm all good, mate. Same. Literally work 9 to 5, and then I work 6 till like 10, 11 o'clock every night. So,
Life right now, it's busy, hectic. So
yeah, man. Has to be done, though. Has to be done.
100%. It's either that or nothing really.
100%. Life a crime if it wasn't working like this. Might be easier, to be fair. So, just for the audience, mate, just give us a little bit of a background about yourself, like who you are, what you do, and things like that.
Yeah, so obviously, my name's Katiyo, and I've been doing music for the past 3 years. Um, doing music, it, haven't been releasing as much, but just been doing it for 3 years now, and yeah, just trying to take it as far as I can.
Cool, man.
Yeah.
So, with your music, when was it that you realised that that's what you wanted to like pursue?
Funny story. Not really that funny to be fair, but it was literally just me and my younger brother. We're just like freestyling, just messing around, like
Yeah,
literally had a few drinks, decided to freestyle, that type of thing. And he recorded a freestyle that I did. He put on his Snapchat, and people like start swiping up on his so he then like tagged me on his story, and it was like, oh, this is his Snapchat, follow him, whatever. And basically that freestyle, people wanted it like as a song.
yeah,
So I was like, you know what, I didn't really want to pursue it. I was just like, let me just drop the freestyle as a song.
yeah.
Yeah. I think it got about 5K views on YouTube, which is it's not too bad.
No,
And since then, I was like, yeah, let me just keep going with it. So
yeah. Fair play. Kind of just fell into your lap then.
kind of, and then I just sort of run with it. Obviously, just know where I want to be, but that's what we're working towards. So
Yeah, for
yeah,
sure, man. So, have you kind of you've grew up in the northeast, or did you move up here?
yeah. So it's like I went to school in North London.
Right.
So I grew up with like my grandma up until I was 11, 12 years old.
Yeah.
And then I moved up north with my mum.
Yeah.
And I've been here ever since. So yeah,
Cool.
so lived in London up until 11, turning 12, and then came up to the northeast and been stuck here ever since.
Stuck here like it's a bad thing.
But no, you know what? I love it. Like, because obviously when I was going to school in London, obviously I didn't really grow up there. Um,
Yeah.
but it's just busy. It's not really. I don't think if I grew up there, I would have any ambition or be as grounded as I am. So
Yeah.
I love it up here. It's the northeast. Can't go wrong.
Yeah. Nah, definitely. And would like jumping back to the music, do you think that your upbringing, so having those kind of different experience down like London, then moving up here, do you think that's influenced like your music, how you write, stuff like that as well?
Yeah. I mean, it's sort of just like a lot of the songs I drop. It's like drill music.
Yeah.
But the the way that it came about was basically the people that I grew up around. And then obviously when I moved up the northeast, got myself like in the wrong crowd, that type of thing. So it's impacted my music and like the topic that I touch on.
Yeah.
So I would definitely say so. Um, but obviously as I grow, like it's sort of changed. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for the audience, what like topics do you think you probably speak about more? Actually, I'll change the question. No, just because I'm thinking, because obviously you've probably changed since you've been releasing for 3 years.
Yeah.
How have you seen your topics change from when you first started to release music to kind of now? Have they changed much at all?
That, do you know what? Yeah, that's a good question, actually. I wouldn't say they've like massively changed, like the topics. I'll just say when I first started, I
Yeah,
didn't really think, like I didn't have to like write. It would just be like going into the studio and say whatever. Most of it was like rubbish, mate. Like it's just like, when you're like younger, because we're still young, but like I would just go into the studio, whatever comes to my head,
yeah,
say it. If I've got a problem with this person, that person, just say it and then make a song.
yeah,
But then now it's like, I remember I released a song last year. It was like about my ex and stuff like that, and I actually had to like sit down, write, and think about what I'm saying. Uh,
yeah,
and even with some of the songs I've released as well, I've had to sort of actually structure the song.
yeah,
So I'll say definitely, yeah, it's changed. Like it's changed, but not like massively.
yeah. It's funny you mentioned that. So you're on about structuring the song and stuff like that.
Mhm.
How long does it normally take you to kind of construct this a song from like start to finish? So what I mean by that is like finding the right beat, then obviously writing like the lyrics basically. So like finding the like first chorus shit like that. Like how long does it take you to structure that so everything other than the music video itself?
Oof. Yeah. So, in terms of like writing, I'm a bit weird when it comes to that. Uh, so I tend to like write the chorus, but I don't do it in the same day. So one day I'll just write the chorus,
Right.
and then I'll think, right, that's the chorus done. I'm gonna come back to it another day.
Yeah.
And I come back the other day, and then I'll write the verse for it.
Hmm.
And then I'll come back again another day, finish the second verse, and then obviously do the chorus again.
Yeah.
So I don't really sit down and
Right. Okay.
all at once. It's just, yeah.
Yeah. Fair man.
It's a weird way to do it, but that's just the way I do it for some reason.
Yeah. Nah, each to their own, really, isn't it? I know nothing about making music, so that could be just be normal to me. Like, couldn't
No,
tell
it,
you.
it could be, but like, if I had to say how long has it taken me to write a song, like when I've actually sat down,
Yeah. Yeah.
I would say about an hour, 2 hours.
Right.
Um, I know some people probably have said like 30 minutes or something, but for me, it's like an hour to like 2 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I've only had kind of Sebastian on who's like into music like yourself,
Yeah.
and his is like he's the same. Like it takes him a little while to actually write it. Like just making sure everything fits and stuff like that. Um, I did have not Sebastian, a kid called Mavon, but he's just a battle rapper.
Oh, okay.
So he doesn't use beats or anything like that. He literally just goes out battles. Like there's no music, nothing like that. So all he's kind of doing is constructing like the lyrics.
Yeah.
So his is a bit different because he'll kind of say sometimes he'll reverse engineer. So he'll pick a topic, know that's what he wants to say, then work backwards and stuff like that. So I know there's like a lot that goes into it. So
Yeah, it's a lot. And it's funny that you say, like, obviously you mentioned the engineers as well. That's a big part in it because um, certain engineers that you work with, let's say I go to the studio with like certain lyrics,
yeah,
sometimes they'll say like, "Oh, don't you think it would sound better if you like swap this over and done this different?"
hmm,
That would also make you like change the topic of the song as well.
yeah,
Um, which then would make you change the lyrics, stuff like that. So it's a lot that goes into it. In terms of like getting the song produced as well. So it's a big part. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is there like multiple people kind of chip in their ideas, or is it just kind of you, or is it you do the bulk of it and then they just add little bits in here and there?
I don't want to take credit for myself, but no. So I sort of start off with like a vision. So for an example, I've just let's say like for my first song that I did, I sort of visioned myself like in a place where I grew up, and then I could sort of imagine like the song, like the beat that I wanted with it,
Yeah,
and how I wanted it to sound.
yeah,
But then again, when you actually go and record the song,
hmm,
different people do play a part into that.
yeah,
So it's mainly the producer as well.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
that's the big part. I think that's the producer is the person that plays like 50% of it.
Right. Okay.
And then I'm probably like at 30%, and then the 20% is like your friends and the person who's made the beat and stuff like that. Yeah.
Right. Cool, man. I didn't ask Sebastian Ali this, to be fair, so I'm gonna ask you this. With the music video, because we like kind of just touched on the music solely side of things, we didn't really touch on like the filming and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So for the music video, I was looking at obviously at some of your songs on YouTube and stuff like that. Just kind of do like research, and I hadn't actually heard of your like any of your songs until Bellingham.
Oh,
So big fan of Bellingham, to be fair, mate.
I
And I really liked Saka as well. I thought Saka was good. Was that
love
last year you released that?
love that. Yeah, last year. It's funny, isn't it? Saka and then Bellingham straight after. Of
Yeah, because I was going to ask, is there a reason between the footballers? But we'll get on to that. Like, what I was going to say is,
course, yeah.
with the music videos, how
Mm.
does it all kind of work? So, because when I see people like release videos, I always think like that'll be so fun to kind of just record and shit like that. But do you play the song and then sing along to it? And then obviously I know the audio track will go over the top of the obviously the filming. So how does it all piece together? Because that's one thing I can never get my head around. Like, do you like just play it and sing, or are you just singing it because you know that's where that part of the music video is going to be?
You know what? Like, it's a bit of both.
Right.
To be honest with you, like, um, obviously we'll speak about like Bellingham and stuff like that. But for an example with Bellingham, it's like what you've just said. We'll play the song,
Hmm.
you sing along to it, and then obviously you put the track on top of it.
Yeah, yeah,
But then there's also another way where we just sort of get the camera out,
yeah.
and I just start rapping the song from start to finish without the music playing.
Right.
Sounds a bit awkward, but
Yeah.
it's it's not if you've got the right people around.
Yeah, yeah.
The reason why I sort of do that, I'm not sure if everyone does that, but it's because we always want options.
Right.
So let's say, so you've got one where I'm lip syncing to the song and it's playing out loud,
Yeah.
and then there's one where it's just me rapping.
Yeah.
Because once we start editing the video, you like will want to be able to hear me clearly saying the lyrics,
Yeah.
and then to make sure like my lips are matching. Because sometimes when you're lip syncing, it just sounds like it looks like
Yeah.
it looks like you're actually saying the lyrics, but sometimes you're off.
Yeah.
So we just do a bit of both to mix it up, and then once you put it all together, it's a bit yeah.
Yeah. Nah, that's sick. Cause honestly, I've never understood kind of how it all like fit together and the what went on behind the scenes like. But I always thought like when you watch any music video, it just like it's something when you look at you like that would be quite fun to do.
You know what? It's fun. You know, making the song is good. Like I love going to the studio and just like the whole feel. Like if I book out a day and I'm going to the studio, it's like the vibe. Um, you can sort of just go there with like your friends, getting the feeling, you know, the element.
Yeah,
But I would say the music videos are just the best. Like,
yeah.
absolutely, like, yeah, amazing. It's like the feeling is just mad. I can't describe it. I love it.
How do you like decide on locations? Do you kind of have an idea in your head after you've recorded the song? Like, I want to do bits here, bits there, and stuff like that.
Yeah, mate. It's like I know I keep talking about Bellingham, but for an example, it's like with Bellingham as well. As soon as I finished the song, because I actually went to Edinburgh in Scotland
Yeah,
to record the song. And I was looking at this place in Glasgow, and I was like, I need to go there and actually film that there.
yeah,
And I was like, yeah, because I could just imagine the location with the video.
yeah.
Obviously, it's like it's a drill beat, it's a drill song, but I wanted the location to just be like completely different.
Right, right.
So I was like, yeah, let me go to Glasgow, film there, and
Yeah,
yeah, we'll give off a different type of vibe as well.
I rate it, man. The one shot that I do want to speak about because I thought it was a very, very good introduction was I think it's Saka. Is it when you FaceTime somebody? And you're like, I watched that. I was like, I like that introduction because it bounces straight into the song from that.
Oh my god, yeah, no, so I FaceTimed this girl. As I've said, like I try anyways to think out of the box. Like,
Yeah,
so with that clip, like with that scene, I was like, it's got nothing to do with the video at all,
yeah,
but it's
uh,
just sort of, it's different, isn't it? Like,
yeah.
let me just try this. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, then,
Did you
oh,
tell her what to say?
no, I mean,
Oh,
the funniest thing, because I remember I had someone swipe up. They were like, "Oh, this is cringe. You definitely told her to say that."
yeah,
And I was like, "Nah, I didn't." They're like, "Yeah, whatever, mate." And I was like, "Nah, no." So I literally randomly, I think you saw like I had the AU vodka there, so
yeah, yeah,
I literally went to the person who was filming the video. I was like, "Look, I'll just quickly FaceTime her, record it."
yeah,
FaceTime done. I was just just messing about.
yeah. Fair play, man. At least she gave you a 9 out of 10. You know what I mean? She could have turned around and said like, "Nah, you look dog 3."
Oh, mate, I would have cried my eyes out. But you know what? I had a fresh trim there, so
That's what it was.
yeah. If it was anything below a 9, I would have
Don't put
would
it
have
in.
nah, delete the scene.
Yeah, fair man. So with both your music and your videos, then with people who you listened growing up, do you think that's kind of influenced your style as well? Like, did you listen to drill a lot when growing up as well?
Yeah. Do you mean like at my early ages, or like when I was like a teenager, and then coming into
Just I suppose it's a bit of everything. So, like, just people who you've listened to generally, like, throughout your life, do you think they kind of played an impact on how you make music and also kind of how you shoot the video as well, like all the footage?
yeah, of course. You probably wouldn't even believe this, but like my favorite artist is Michael Jackson.
Fair play.
So it's like you're probably thinking like he's got nothing to do with like drill music. But he's like my favorite artist, and a part he's played in me when it comes to me doing music is
Yeah.
him being like a creative person. Like the music videos, like Beat It, Thriller.
They're very cinematic on the whole his.
Yeah, very cinematic, very different. Even like the Smooth Criminal video. Um, Mate, I could literally go on all day. Uh, yeah, that's what's like sort of played a big part when it comes to
Yeah.
videos. Um, and in terms of like just music wise, I grew up listening to mainly was like R&B in the house because of my mum. So it was like Kelly Rowland,
Yes.
Nicki Minaj, um, Nelly. And then for me, it was just sort of when I started being like a teenager, I started getting more into like drill music. So I started listening to like Lowski,
Yeah.
Lowski, who I actually met in 2019. But yeah, he played a big part, and then obviously Digger D as well,
Yeah. Yeah.
100%. So yeah, it's a mixture of everything. You've got R&B, you've got pop, which is Michael Jackson there, and then you've got
Yeah,
your
man.
drill and Vibes Cartel as well. It's a Jamaican artist. So
Yeah.
yeah,
So a variety then.
yeah, you got reggae there, you got drill, everything.
Yeah. Nah, it's funny you mentioned R&B. I think I've mentioned on like every kind of music orientated episode that I've done, like with Chico and Sebastianelli. That's like my favorite genre of music. And me and Chico were laughing because Chico was like looking at you. That's probably not what somebody would like kind of assume that's the case. And I was like, wait, maybe. But I was like,
to, to, be,
you've known us long enough, Chico, now. So
to be fair, I would have expected that. So, question for you then: what's your favorite song, R&B wise?
oh, do you know what? This is probably out of the box, right? Because a lot of people don't really listen to him that much, and he went off the face of the earth because he went back to uni and stuff like that, and then
Yeah.
finished his degree. But probably favorite. It's I know for a fact it's not the best before you judges, yeah, but it's my favorite.
Okay.
Is probably "Don't" by Bryson Tiller.
I'm never gonna judge you with that because that song is it came out around, was it 2016, 2015?
Yeah, I think so. 2016.
Round about then, yeah. No, that's to be fair, yeah, that's a good song.
He's one of my favorite artists. Like his new album that he's just dropped, like with Calypso and things on as well. Like it's one of my favorite. He's one of my favorite artists. Like I don't know why. I think it's just one of the first ever R&B artists that I listened to like properly back when I was like young and ever. Well, obviously I could say Neo and stuff like that because I grew up listening to Neo. But I think getting it actually into the genre and stuff like that was through listening to that album with the likes of Dawn or Exchange and stuff like that on.
Yeah.
So I think that's why, because it's like one of those. It's like that first song. Do you know when you like listen to
Yeah.
it constantly when you're a teenager?
Yeah. It's just sort of like stuck with you, and then you've obviously fall for the artist as well, in terms of the music. So
Yeah, uh,
yeah, I'll let you get a pass on that one. I don't know what Chico was talking about, but
yeah.
it's a,
That music taste, Chico was like, nah, he rocked with it to be fair because I said other than R&B, massive, totally different genre, but R&B and country music are my two favorite like music genres.
oh, you like
And
music as well?
love country music. Like you've got one scale and the other, really. Like
Yeah. To be fair with country music, maybe I haven't listened to like a good artist, but I need to. You need to send me one of the songs you listen to. Maybe I'll get to that as well.
yeah, Chico said when I had Chico on, he was like he's just started listening to it, and he was saying like he's massively into it now after a few different songs. So
Yeah,
I'll I've got a full playlist, mate. I'll just send you the link to the Spotify, and
called
you can just kind of pick and choose from there because that's got like 20 odd hours of songs on. So
20 odd hours.
oh mate, me travel playlist is 42 hours. So me
I I need to up my playlist. To be fair, I don't think I've got that many songs on.
honestly, I'm just looking now. My
Yeah.
playlist for like me travel playlist. So this is just what I work on in the car or like if I'm like going on a plane somewhere or something.
Yeah.
It is 43 hours and 41 minutes. And to give you the range of music, the very first song is Ho Hey from the Lumineers.
Yeah.
Then it goes to Ed Sheeran for a bit, and then N Dubs, then Akon, then back to Avril Lavigne, Robbie Williams, Snoop Dogg, Noah Khan, McFly, Busted, Eminem, um, Little Sims, like
Little, she's good. She's really
really
good.
good.
Yeah.
Venom's one of my favorite songs from her.
Yeah, no, I think Lil Sim, she's a lot of UK like female artists don't really get recognition in the UK, if that makes sense. But she's like one of the artists that I actually listen to. Um,
Yeah, she appeared in the actual Venom movie, didn't she?
yeah, she did, yeah. And she played a good part as well. She was in Top Boy.
I she did. I
Yeah, she played a really good part. But
didn't she
she's
play his the Shane's like girlfriend, didn't he?
Yeah, she did.
Yeah,
She played a really good part in that. I think she's just talented
Shelley.
all around. Shelley, that's it. Yeah, she's talented all around. To be fair, and the music is good as well. So,
Yeah,
but you've got a variety of music there on the playlist.
I love music, mate. Like, if you name it, that's why I didn't judge for Michael Jackson because some of his music is phenomenal. Like,
Then yeah,
I've got Frank Sinatra and everything on that playlist, mate. Like, I'm just a proper. I love music. It doesn't matter what it is, I can appreciate it.
a good
Um,
music is good music, isn't it? At the end of
yeah.
the day.
One of my favorite, two of my favorite shows actually that I'm currently watching at the minute is Rhythm and Flow. It's on, which is on Netflix,
Yeah,
and then the Rap Game UK as well on BBC.
the rap game. Yeah, the rap game. It's good, and then it's got like some funny moments there as well. You know when they're doing the battles and stuff.
Yeah,
Um, I've been watching that as well, and then you always see like the people on TikTok because they're always going like TikTok live as well.
right.
It's funny. I love that the rap game.
Yeah, it's really good to be fair. It's good for putting people on as well, I think.
It is, but you know what? Because I don't really freestyle that much. If I was to go on that, I don't know.
Struggle.
Yeah, I probably would. You know, because I need to like write. I can't just freestyle.
Yeah. Because they do one when it has to be freestyle as well, don't they? Like one of the challenges is freestyling, isn't it?
Freestyling, yeah.
Yeah.
I can probably do a freestyle, but you have to be sort of talented to actually be talking about something, not just like
Yeah.
stuff, you know.
Because I think in this season it was like one of the first, it was literally the first challenge, I think, for the freestyle, but a lot of people just done pre written bars.
That's what I would probably do. Pre-written.
Yeah. Yeah.
You probably hear a bit of saga in that as well.
Honestly, mate, I couldn't do it. I'm shit when it's come to putting like
Uh,
words into like, nah. I don't even know how I do this if I'm being honest, because I'm really shit at like taking what's in here and putting it out to the world.
You're doing a good job, man. 13, you said what? It's 13 episodes, isn't it?
Recorded, yeah. So,
Oh,
and I've got people booked on to continue. So, just only going to get better the more you're doing it. It's a reps that you put out. Be the same with you in music. Like the more you write and stuff like that, the better you'll get.
of course, yeah. It's just the work you put in as well, isn't it? You have to, like you just said, just keep doing it, and then eventually you actually find your niche as well and
That's it.
evolve. So,
Nah, 100%, mate. Just with the music, like jumping back into that,
yeah.
how have you actually found? Because one about like going on the Rap Game UK and stuff like that, but how have you actually found kind of navigating the industry from like? I know you've been doing it 3 years, but in the grand scheme of things, you probably still are like kind of new to the scene in comparison to a lot of artists. How
Yeah,
have you kind of like felt navigating that, and especially with you from being kind of a UK, because well, the Northeast, sorry, because I think you'd never ever really hear of UK artists kind of making it like properly when it comes to kind of rap, drill, and stuff like that. Like I think the last Northeast artists to make themselves would probably be them two off Little Mix. I don't think I've heard of anybody else after that.
100%. Yeah, and I know what you mean. Yeah, like Little Mix are probably like the people you've heard from the Northeast.
Yeah.
So how do I navigate? Do you just mean like how am I finding it, or
Yeah, so how you finding it, mate? Like, is it kind of difficult to kind of navigate with other artists, get along with other artists, stuff like that? Like, as a whole, like the industry, what's it like, especially being from the Northeast, really?
yeah? So it's quite it's difficult to be honest because um I'm not gonna say just because obviously we're in the Northeast,
Yeah,
but that also plays a major part into that because obviously no one's really, like you just said, no one's really heard from artists in the Northeast. The people they've heard from is Little Mix and they sing. So it's just how I find it difficult because obviously you sort of have to reach out. You have to like basically put yourself out there. And 8 times out of 10, people are just gonna say like, nah. Like, nah, because they just don't believe like someone from the Northeast can come out and do something they've never
Yeah,
seen before, or it's just, yeah, lack of faith really. Like no one's heard like from someone
yeah,
um who's in the Northeast like doing rap and stuff like that, so
yeah,
they just don't believe it would work. But I mean, at the same time, there's been a lot of people that have reached out that are not from around here. So,
yeah,
and to be like artists who live in a mad country, like I had some guy reach out who lives in Ukraine.
yeah,
I've got another artist from Italy who I've got a song coming with as well. So it's never really in the UK the people that reach out as well in the industry. So it's just a bit, it's all over the place, but it's difficult.
yeah. Fair man. Was that a song with somebody from Italy? Was it?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
How's
Uh,
that work? And is he a rapper as well? Is he,
no,
or like a drill artist?
nah. He's not a rapper or drill artist. He's like a melodic guy.
All right.
So he sort of like sings stuff like that. So the song that we're working on at the moment, yeah, it's just nothing to do with drill. Just sort of like melodic rap.
Right. Fair.
He's on the melodies and then I'm doing the rapping. So
Yeah. Cool, man. And is that something you're looking to do more of as well? Kind of venture out, like, so it's not just kind of drill that you do.
100%. Funny that you said that because I had a conversation with one of my friends a couple of weeks back now, just talking about like what I want to do in terms of like music.
Yeah.
Um, and I just find drill music is just boring
Yeah.
now, for me anyway. I don't really listen to it. The only time I listen to it is when I have to make it.
Yeah.
Um, so 100%, like I'm looking to just work with artists who do like R&B, just like trap music, rapping. I'm looking to work with like female artists as well.
Yeah.
Um, Even like pop music. Obviously, I'll still be rapping, but I just want to work on a different sound completely as well. Uh,
Yeah.
Talk about like more mature topics. So you will be seeing a lot of just like real music, not just the typical drill stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Good, man. Sometimes I think music hits better as well when it is about those kind of either hard hitting topics or those like more mature topics where people can relate to that like specific as well.
yeah,
So I think that's definitely like I mean I don't really know much about music, but from what I listen to like personally, like for me that's the type of stuff that I kind of steer more towards, that like when I can relate to what's going on in the song.
of course. Even myself, believe it or not, I listen to. I don't know if you've heard of him. I listen to. So obviously, my favorite artist is Michael Jackson.
Yeah,
But in terms of like this generation, I like NBA YoungBoy.
haven't heard of him. I'll have to give him a listen.
Yeah, NBA. You probably won't like him. He's an American artist. He's quite big to be fair. Um, and the type of music he makes, it's just like he's got songs where it's like touching on like real life situations and stuff, and
Yeah,
like a deep pain music,
yeah,
which you can sort of relate to as well. You know, in like certain moments of your life. So that's what I'm mostly into at the moment. Just that type
yeah.
of music, you know.
Yeah, to be fair, American rappers, one of the I haven't listened to them in years, but when I was like eight, like between 17 and 19, one
Yeah.
of my favorite rappers was a guy called Whit Lowry.
Oh, okay, yeah, Whitley, yeah,
Yeah, and his music's like rap, but it's like don't want to kind of put him in this sort of bracket because every white rapper everyone says it, but it's like very Eminem esque, like quick but like painful stuff,
yeah.
and a little bit like Logic, just not as deep as like Logic's like is it O 800 or whatever the song's called that Logic sings about the self harming. It's not
Oh,
that bad, but with Larry's like music, like Crash and stuff like that, it's just all about like his experiences and stuff like that. And a lot of people who've had a tough upbringing can like relate to that. So I love that sort of music. So if that's the type of stuff that he performs, I'll give him a listen, like, cause that sort of stuff's like right up my street.
It is, but I think when you listen to him, you're gonna have a hard time. Don't listen to his like, cause he's sort of a versatile artist.
Right.
So he makes like it's what they call like murder music in America, which
Right.
is
Okay.
drill music
Yeah.
basically. And then he makes like obviously the soft music, and then he makes like pain music.
Hmm.
It's got a bit of R&B there as well. But a song I would say you should listen to is no, I'll send you a playlist, and
Yeah.
I'll
Swap playlist after the pod. Nah, literally anyone who's not very popular in the UK and stuff like that. I love listening to like unique artists and stuff. So send it over. I can appreciate any good music. Like, next question that I've kind of got in regards to the music side of things is appearing on BBC Introducing. Like, how did that feel like managing to feature on that? Because it's quite a big step.
Oh my god! So that was like that's been the best thing for me.
Mm,
Like since like starting music, um, just being able to get on like BBC Music introducing, it was mad. Like it was literally mad. Yeah, I was literally overwhelmed. There's no words to describe it. Like hearing your name being introduced before like
yeah.
your song plays, and then say your name again after it gets played was just mad. Best thing ever. Like, um, yeah,
Yeah.
it was
Lost
mad.
for words.
But yeah, also like go on the radio with Saka. It was Saka that was on the radio.
Yeah.
Um, do you know what? When I made the song, I sort of hoped that it would
Yeah.
get on there because the person who I was, well, it was like my manager at the time. He sort of just went, we should get this submitted for the
Mm,
radio. We should put the track there because you're referencing like a footballer. You're not really talking. You're not saying anything like mad on the
yeah.
track. Put it there. Let's see what happens. And I remember like I left work, um, came out, and I got an email.
Yeah.
So basically, what they do is tell you like they listen to the song, and you're basically like thinking about playing the song, but they haven't played it yet.
Yeah.
And then they sent me like another email, and then they were like, "We expect your song to be played at this time." Da 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 da. And then they gave me like a reference number.
Yeah.
And then literally went onto there. They sent me the link, and I was literally like listening to it live being played. Mad moment. It
That's
was it was mad.
mate. Fair play. That's very, very in my head, anyways. Anything like that is a massive achievement for somebody like in music. I know, obviously, Sebastian Ellis just went on today, and then I don't know if you've watched it, but I had a guest on Alex Bagnall.
Alex, I seen a clip when I was scrolling through your YouTube
Yeah,
as well. I seen a clip, yeah, because obviously I've been trying to just do myself like a bit of research. Like you were
yeah,
listening to,
yeah.
I was watching a few of the episodes. But I saw a clip of that. Yeah,
Cool, man. He's done the same, been down BBC and stuff like that. So said the exact same thing to him. It's for me in my head, anyways. It's like appearing on anything like that when you're in music. That's like your first kind of big step, getting yourself out there, listened to, and hats off, mate.
that's fun. Cheers, cheers.
You
It was
answered me next point as well. You know, I was going to ask,
yeah.
how do you get featured on it? Like, what's the steps? So is it just a case where you would just send them like a copy of the song, let them listen to it, they'll reach back out?
It's a lot. It's different. So just being on the radio in general,
Yeah,
different. So last year, basically, what happened was, um, I was releasing like like my EP. I don't know if you want to talk about that later down the line or
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
but I was releasing my first ever like EP
Hmm.
at the start of last year, and you basically have to get like network with
Yeah,
people. So you sort of have to speak to someone who has been there, works there, or and they give you a breakdown of the process.
yeah,
Um, and obviously you have to make the song first, and then you reach out to them,
yeah,
send an email, basically say I've got this song, blah blah blah. What can I do to submit it for the radio?
hmm,
They'll give you the instructions. You submit the song to them, and then obviously they'll listen to it, and then they'll let you know if they want to play it. If they don't want to play it, they basically don't reply to you. it's it's basically like saying like your music is it's yeah,
yeah. It's dead.
or maybe not your music, yeah, or maybe not like your music, but that song is just dead.
Yeah, or not quite good enough for where they want to play it.
Exactly, yeah, because you got to think they're playing within, so
Yeah,
it's like they don't want to play it when someone's coming back from work and it's a bit dead.
yeah,
Also,
yeah. Or too, a bit too like aggressive or something like that.
like yeah, so that's another contributing factor to it as well. It's a mad process. Like, obviously, when I reached out to someone who's been there as well and had worked there, they told me like you can't just be on your like talk mad stuff in a song. Basically, be careful of what you say, how you say it, and just structure the song properly as well
Yeah,
before making any submissions. So it's a process in itself. It's
yeah.
yeah, it's long.
And from like submitting it to actually appearing on the radio, how long was like the duration of that?
Curation. So it was something that we had. So basically, we planned it in
Yeah,
December 2022, and then the mixtape was due to be released on in March
yeah,
2020. So the duration to like actually get that sorted was about 2 months, 3 months.
right.
We didn't actually submit the music, like the song,
Hmm.
until a week or 2 weeks after the music, like the EP had dropped.
Yeah,
So we're a bit late in actually making the submission, but we're working on it like for like 3 months.
yeah, fair. And then the submission to then going live, how what was like the time difference there? So when did you submit it and when did you like go live on the radio?
Um, it was fairly quick to be fair. Um, if I'm not mistaken, so we submitted it, and then about 5 days later, 5 working days later,
Yeah,
I sort of heard back. Um,
not bad.
yeah, and then they were just yeah, like 5 days, 5 working days. Really, it wasn't even that to be fair. It was quite quick.
Yeah,
But I think I submitted it on the weekend. So it was just going into the week. So I think the first thing they'll do on a Monday morning is obviously go through all the submissions and then
yeah. It's not bad. I thought it was going to be a lot longer than that. So at least once you've submitted it, it's only like it's quite a quick turnaround, really, in the grand scheme of things.
it is, yeah. But you just need to be careful though. Like, let's say you're planning to like market the song, promote it. You need to make sure you're submitting the song to be on the radio
Yeah,
with time for you to like actually make it make sense in terms of like marketing as well.
yeah,
But yeah, it's a pretty quick process when it comes to it airing on the radio.
yeah. Perfect, mate. And finally, then, just before we move on,
Yeah,
if you want to just talk a little bit about making that first EP as well, like what was that like?
the first EP, it's called Student of Trap, by the way. It was just the making of that wasn't really. It was something like that I'd planned for a long time
Right.
since like I dropped like my first song.
Yeah.
I always had a vision for it. I had the artwork, like I made the artwork myself, and I kept it for like a good year, 2 years. Um, and I just sort of, you know, pulled these songs together that I thought sort of go with the theme.
Yeah.
And obviously Saka was like the leading single for that.
Yeah.
So the making of that, it was enjoyable. It was something different. Because you always see like these big artists like dropping album, mixtape, and you don't really know what it's like or the process is like. It was stressful though.
I
Stressful because
bet.
you're paying like for the you're paying for the studio and stuff. On top of that, you need to plan a good time to drop it.
Yeah.
Um, because obviously I'm not a big artist. I'm climbing up the ladder, so you need to actually engage or make people engage with your piece of work, really.
Yeah.
But it was enjoyable, enjoyable nevertheless. Just a big process though, mate. It's stressful.
Nah, I wouldn't like to do it. With the EPs as well, like how many songs is it that tend to go on per EP? Like, is
Yeah.
it a few
So
or
so when you're actually just distributing the song, the EP, sorry, it tells you. Obviously, I don't expect you to like to know how many songs it would be, but
yeah,
it's usually between 1 and 6.
yeah,
So as soon as you add on a track to make it like 7,
yeah,
distribution like companies sort of classes it as an album.
yeah.
So it's between like 1 and 6. Anything over that, it's like an album. But you've probably like seen a few EPs where it's like 8 songs or 9 tracks.
If I'm gonna be totally honest, mate, I could never differentiate between the few because, like you say, I've seen EPs where it's literally just been one or two tracks. Then I've seen someone it's been like more the 7 or 8 mark. So for me, I was just kind of interested in how many kind of tend to go on and the process around choosing those songs and stuff like that. But I'm
Yeah,
assuming you'll have kind of pre-recordings that you might think fit in that EP as well.
of course, yeah. Well, for me, I would say it's like between 1 and 6.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then the difference is as well with like an EP, it's a bunch of songs put together,
Right.
just made to fit whatever theme you're going for.
Yeah.
Whereas an album, it's sort of like you've sat down and you're like telling a story throughout that whole album.
Yeah.
So from start to finish, it needs to make sense. Whereas an EP is just a bunch of songs where I think they sort of match the theme I'm going for. Let me just put it together. There you go. Um, but yeah, I'll say between 1 and 6, and then for the album, anything over like 7 tracks. I just feel like that'll be an album for me.
Yeah. No, definitely, mate. And throw one in there for you. What is your favourite song that you've either wrote or featured on?
I don't know if you've hmm, wait, hold on. I haven't done a lot of features though. You see,
Right. Okay.
I've only done about 3 or 4.
Right.
My favorite song would be I don't know if you've seen it on my YouTube. It's called "Waited."
Was that one of your earlier ones?
One of my earlier ones is called
Yeah.
"Waited," featuring my guy from Edinburgh. His name is Jad.
Mm-hmm.
That's like my favorite. It's not like drill music or anything. It's like a upbeat pop type of vibe.
Yeah.
Probably my favorite one. Yeah. Um, yeah, definitely. And then I'll
Yeah.
probably like Saka as well. I don't know because yeah. Now I'll probably go with Weighted. Yeah.
Wait. I'll
Wait.
listen to the full song because I did listen to the like first like minute and a bit, but I was trying to like quickly like go through everything just before to remind myself. So I only went like so far back because like I wanted to listen to your more recent stuff and get kind of an idea of what you were kind of producing now.
Yeah.
So to be fair, I do rate Bellingham and Saka though. I think they're two very like good songs.
I think yeah, and you know what it is? I think it's because the production has like massively, not massively, but it's gotten better.
Yeah,
Um, and it all comes down to how much I've tried to invest. Not like money wise, and
Yeah,
also just like being trying to be as creative as I can. So a lot of people have said what you just said there, like Saka, Bellingham. Yeah, those are like the two front runners.
yeah. But I mean, if you're doing that, like you've invested more, you're more experienced as well. So that's probably always going to be the case. Like your next release, people are probably going to say that's going to be your best song.
Yeah,
So it's like when I had Sebastian on a couple of weeks ago now, he said the same thing when I asked him that question. He was like, I'll just always say like my latest release because every song just keeps getting better. And I think if that's not the way you're thinking, you might have the one or like two odd songs where you're like, didn't really hit as well as what I thought.
yeah,
But I think you should always be aiming to obviously your next song's going to be better than your last release.
100%. It's a big thing. It's a very big thing because I feel like you need to have quality control as well.
Yeah,
Uh, and I've like looked back at some of my songs because sometimes I do this. Like if an artist tells you they don't listen back and look back at their old songs and stuff, they're lying.
yeah, yeah,
Like I always look back and I'll listen to like one or two of like my old songs, like my music videos as well, and think,
yeah,
delete that. Like I just want to remove it completely,
yeah,
face up the earth, get it gone. And then I'm like, no, because it's like every song is showing like how much I'm growing as well.
yeah,
But I need to do it in a way where the improvement is like clear.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, I think Sebastian he's definitely right in terms of that. 100%.
yeah. I like what you just said there about looking back because I still watch like I know I'm only like 7 episodes in, but I watch
Yeah,
like Alex's and Ryan's episodes, even Chico's to be fair, and even this one now, I just feel like I'm a million times better when I recorded them ones. Whether it's like the looking directly in the camera, the talking, the navigation, like just tiny little things. I'll always look back and I'm like, wow, like I'm really early in. Like obviously I've only recorded these this year, but seeing that improvement just over the space of a few months, then never mind you guys who've been doing it for like 3, 4 years and stuff like that. Your improvements will just be obviously levels every time.
yeah, and I even said that to you. Obviously before this episode, I was like, "You're doing a good job."
Yeah,
I wouldn't have thought you've only been doing this like for a few months. I would have thought, oh well, it looks like you're experienced anyways.
yeah,
Just by like how calm you are, how like compose yourself and stuff like that. So I thought you were doing it for a long time. So it
yeah.
stays, you're doing something right, 100%.
Appreciate it, man. Like literally, the hardest thing for me is sitting still. Like can't sit still. Like you,
Can you see the way I'm just keep?
well, I'm on a spinny chair, mate, so I just keep moving. But I'm trying to like teach myself just to stay still because no, in past episodes I've been
Oh, all right.
normally I do stuff like this with my hands and that, and I'm just trying telling myself keep my arms down, concentrate on what you're doing. But I'm proper fidgety. Like even when I work in an office, and
Yeah.
even then, every half an hour I'm out my desk like doing something because I can't just sit still. Like
Oh, yeah. To be fair, mate, I work like in a building as well, like in an office
yeah,
type of environment, and I tend to just stand up, go for a little walk, and then come back to my desk. I can't.
yeah,
I find it hard to stay still for a certain amount of time.
yeah.
I don't know if we've got like ADHD or something, but it's a bad habit.
Yeah, it's probably a slight touch of that, if I'm being honest, because the only time I actually can sit still and stay like still is when I'm proper like locked in on a task, like when I'm at work. This, I think, if I had this in person, it would be 10 times better because then you could have that in person interaction. But when you sat like on another side of the screen, it's like, what do I do with my hands, stuff like that.
Like, would you look like as well?
Yeah,
Look around. And since you've actually mentioned that, are you thinking about doing this in person, like the podcast?
eventually, yeah. It's just about obviously building, seeing if I can make a little bit extra income off it as well, because obviously studio costs and stuff like that is like
Yeah,
quite high. So it's just about seeing if it makes sense and if it's affordable or not. But I think long term, that's the goal.
of
In
course.
person podcast. But for now, getting guests on, it's easier doing it remote because obviously you can be anywhere in the world, and then obviously cost wise as well, it's like a lot cheaper because I do all my own editing and stuff like that as well. So
Oh, sick. Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, yeah, I think it's good like starting it off the way it is now, and then because I mean it's still good the way it is,
yeah.
but then in person it's like you can have a certain sort of like theme going on as well, you know. But I think yeah, I think you know what you're doing anyways. You've
Yeah.
got there, so
I can't say originally it was meant to be in person because me office and stuff like that was meant to be like slightly different, so I could have like an actual settee in and stuff like that.
yeah.
But I had to start working from home like on a more permanent basis, so I like put a full desk in. So I was like, I'll just do it remotely for now, see how it goes over the case of space of like a year, and then if it kind of shoots off and does well, then look to start obviously getting one or two studio guests in per month, do the rest online still,
Yeah.
and then in a few years' time, if it like takes off that way, kind of relocate and start doing studio every week
Now hopefully, yeah, you shouldn't be saying if it takes off, when it takes off.
when it takes off.
When it takes off, bro, because you need to speak it into existence. I know a lot of that's probably sounds like cliche to be fair. A lot of people say the same thing, but
I say that to be fair, so I don't know why I'm saying if because I'm a massive believer of speaking things into existence.
then because I mean, what's there to stop you? The only
Exactly.
can is it's you. I mean, don't mean to sound motivational and stuff, but it's true, isn't it? You know, I think the sky's the limit, honestly. And if
Yeah.
and the good thing as well, it's like with like social media now. I know everyone's like hopping onto it, but
Yeah.
that's a good thing because no one looks at you and think, "Oh, this is cringe. Why is it doing that?" It's actually a platform. There's platforms where you can make income and like live off it. So
Oh, for definite, mate. So like this with the YouTube and TikTok, it's TikTok's not doing too bad in, compared to others, but it's easier to kind of get some form of algorithm on there than there is on like Instagram and Facebook and stuff. So that's what I'm kind of that TikTok gets like 3 videos a day, Instagram, Facebook gets 2 videos a day, and then obviously YouTube gets the one every Friday.
nice.
So
You've got like sort of a schedule going there. Like you know,
yes,
that's something I need to do as well.
definitely, mate. One thing I would always recommend is like with songs and stuff like that, definitely clip them up and like utilize your short form content with them because I know obviously they only like say 2 to like 4 minutes long songs, but like even clipping them up and just using the sounds on everything.
Yeah.
Like if you can get people just using your sounds and stuff like that on like Instagram and stuff, like the algorithm will just like keep putting it out there. It's mad.
Cool.
But I'm still learning. Like Nathan today, who's just went live, he's literally sent us over like a load of like advice and stuff like that because he's been doing like this social media stuff for like a lot longer than me. So it's just about accepting the advice and not kind of because I'm a very stubborn person. So I love doing everything on my own because then I can say, oh, I didn't take any handouts and stuff like that. But when it comes to this sort of stuff, I know where my strengths are and I know what I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So when it comes to like social media stuff like that, I'm still learning it. So any advice I get on social media, I snap up like that. I don't turn it down. So
The best. I mean, I'm sort of a stubborn person myself as well. But I think any advice is just it's good and it's needed, especially when you're trying to do or be something in this sort of industry.
yeah,
100%. You need all the advice you can get.
yeah,
And
for definite, mate. I agree. Like I say, I never. If I was doing this 2, 3 years ago, I probably wouldn't agree. But now, mature, like a lot more mature, even from last year. If I'm being totally honest, like I've changed massively over the course of the year.
Yeah.
Uh, Probably sobriety as well. That's done that for us as well. Like it's just give us a totally different outlook. But yeah, ask me this question last year or 2 3 years ago, I'd be like, I don't really need anyone's help. I used to do marketing. I don't need any assistance, but that's not the case at all. Like I'm learning Photoshop, I'm learning social media marketing. I'm literally doing it all live in person, seeing stuff slowly grow, and as long as it keeps growing each week, it's no matter how slow it is, then I'm happy.
Even if it's like, you know what, one thing that tends to put people off is the growth and it's the process. Like,
Yeah,
what I think is a big, like, for an example for myself, if I get, let's say I release like a music video on YouTube,
yeah,
um because I always aim to get like 1,000 views in like 24 hours.
yeah,
Half of that, I still look at it as a positive, because it's like, right, even if it's just like five, even if it's just one person, it's still someone who's
yeah.
watching. Even if it's one or two followers, so
Definitely. My ego took a bit of a battering, like, because my first ever episode, obviously, first episode, I made a massive push for it, stuff like that. Got 200 odd views. So I
yeah,
was like, all right, this might not be as bad as what I originally expected. I got humbled very quickly from then on because the others, I think on one maybe has made over 100 views. The rest have all been like below 100 views, and only my first ever episode went to, I think it's sat on 222 now. And I was like, wow,
it's
that humbled me good. And
the thing is though, this is like different. This is a podcast, and you're releasing a lot of episodes, which is good.
yeah,
But it's like, in that way, I don't think you can always like. It's gonna be like up and down, if that makes sense. I think
yeah,
this might get, I don't know, 50 views, 100 views, 200. The next one might get like 500 views, 600, or 10 views, or 20 views.
well, that's it, because every topic's different. So it's not really where you've got some channels, or let's say if I use Nathan for an example, he doesn't do like full YouTube clips, but he's AI like specific.
Yeah,
So no matter what his audience is, he's always probably going to have that same sort of retention or engagement, because it's going to be the same topics every week, because it's always going to be about AI. Jack and Paige, who I've recently had on, they're travel YouTubers, so their content's always going to be have engagement as long as they're still in kind of where they're currently traveling. The only time they'll drop is, say, if they go from like the Middle Eastern to like the North Americas,
yeah.
uh, where this being on a podcast like this, it's like totally different subjects every single week. So I need, as long as I'm getting views on them, then I'm happy. If people start tuning in for me rather than the guest, then that's obviously a bonus. But it's a slow burner, and I'm ready just to, like we mentioned before, do the repetitions for it.
Of course, yeah. It's a process. Like, it's not really. Don't watch the numbers. Like, don't. I try not to either, because it's, yeah. It's it puts you down massively. Like, I've had times where I've had big expectations, like, for a song, and it's just completely flopped. Like,
Yeah,
it's just flopped. Even posting like a preview on Instagram, you expect people to be flooding the comments, and then it's just like five
yeah,
comments, one comment, and I'm like, right, well, that's getting deleted.
yeah,
So I've faded away from that. So if I post something, I'm just gonna stick it out, and then
yeah.
whoever
That's
likes it, and then
Yeah, that's what I've done literally with this, mate. I've put an episode out and on YouTube I've just forgot about it. And then all I'll do is just make sure everything's scheduled for the week for all the posts. So I don't post daily, like I'll sit down a week or 2 weeks before the episode goes live and I'll just schedule all the content. So
of
it's done, ready. And then all I'll do is go on and put on stories and stuff like that just to expose it a bit more.
yeah,
But then I'll not, I think I'll look at the YouTube video itself every Wednesday, and then I'll do it again on the Friday. but I only really look at it the two times because I'm like, I don't want to be watching the
That
numbers constantly. Other than on the Friday when I release, I do constantly refresh during the day just to see how the first 24 hours go. And then
and
after that, I don't touch it until the back end of the week.
the you know what? It's the first 24 hours are a big pot for me. Always been. Um, Even like with releasing Bellingham, Bellingham's probably been my best, my best one yet in terms of just how it's done in the first
Yeah,
20 hours. But I think the 24 hours, anyways, back to the topic, it's important because I think in your head you're like, how are people going to receive this? What are they thinking? How's it going? So
yeah. So I was just looking there. So first 24 hour, well, 9 hours of Nathan's being out, I've got 24 views on that one. Where for the week, for Paige and Jack, well, I've got 99 views on that. And then, but if I look at Chico Part 2, that's only got 22 views as a whole. So it's like, it's up and downs, like you say.
that,
So,
that's not even that's not bad. Like there's some people where you can go on their YouTube channel, they're trying to like start something, be a YouTuber, and they're only getting not even like what you're getting.
yeah.
So there's people worse off, trust me.
Nah, definitely, mate. Like I say, it's all about repetitions. People will just come. If they like it, they'll stay. That's the way I look at it. So,
100%, and you don't lose anything.
yeah, exactly, mate.
You've still got your subscribers, you've still got your followers, you've still got your views, you've got your likes there. You're doing something right. That's all I can say. You're doing something right, and
Yeah.
it's only gonna get better, isn't it? So
Yeah, for definite, mates. I just conscious about obviously timing's just creeping over an hour there. So just
yeah,
jumping back on track because I know obviously we've just went on a bit of a tangent there. I'm
yeah, we did.
partially to blame there, but who doesn't love a good tangent? Uh my last thing for the music side of stuff though, mate, is just do you have any like projects coming up or shows coming up, anything like that that the
Yeah,
guys can like expect to hear from you?
of course, yeah. So I'm currently working on Student of Trap 2.
Cool.
Uh, Obviously, my debut EP was last year called Student of Trap. So this is like the second version of it.
Yeah,
Uh, that's coming out soon. Bellingham is of course the lead single, so that I will be performing very soon as well. We've got a few shows coming up, a few events I'll be going to in December,
yeah.
but I won't be performing, so I'll be performing at the start of 2025, in line with me releasing the EP.
Right, cool. Do you know any destinations yet? Because obviously this will be airing in January, so it might be in around the same time.
Of course, yes. So, of course, we've got Newcastle, so I'll be performing. Obviously, Chico does a few events as well. I will be speaking to him to see what we can do.
Yeah,
But I've got a few shows, so one in Newcastle, and then I've got one coming up in Sunderland as well. And then I've been working with someone from London.
cool.
Um, that we're sorting something out. So it's about three shows I'm currently working on at the moment.
Sweet man. And at the end of the episode as well, for anybody listening, we'll be getting your socials for everyone to follow you on. Keep track of where the shows are as well if they want to head down and watch as well.
Of course, yeah. I mean, my Instagram is so the number four, Katiyo, that's Katiyo. And then on Snapchat, it's just Katiyo5. And on YouTube, it's simple, it's just Katiyo.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Perfect, man. And just before we wrap the podcast up, the three questions we ask every single guest. So this is what I say the audience comes to watch for because that's what's on every episode. Um, not the guests, just these questions. I like lying to myself.
Just a question.
Yeah. Nah. So biggest one, mate, and this is one where I like to ask solely just because I think there's a lot of people out there who do struggle and they think they're alone and stuff like that. So what I like to get is every guest ask what their biggest struggle is and how they overcame it. Just basically, so it just raises this awareness that everybody does go through those tough times, and it's okay that one asks for help. And this is just to show people that everybody does suffer at times.
Mm. So one thing,
Yeah. So your biggest, what you would class as your biggest struggle, or one of your biggest struggles that you've overcame.
yeah. So I'm not sure if it's like visible, like if you can see or not, but um, I I was like a really anxious person in terms of just talking and being outgoing and being like myself,
Yeah.
really. Um, and what I would say to like people who might feel the same way or, are still going through that, it's just like it's okay, do you know what I mean, to be yourself. You're actually better being like yourself than being anyone else. Like
Yeah.
you gotta think out of all the people in this world, like you're literally you.
Yeah.
Like there's no other you. You're just yourself. So you just need to embrace it and live in your skin, really.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
love that. I really like that, mate. Thank you for that.
No.
Uh, Lightening the mood a little bit now, though.
Yeah.
Three guests that you would invite to a dinner party and why?
Anyone.
Can be anyone, past, present, alive, dead, family, famous. Uh, I tend to go like people who kind of would inspire you and stuff like that, but literally any three people that you would invite, mate.
Oh my
And
god.
why, by the way, as well. So you have to back it up with why.
Oh man. Put me on the spot, bro. I would probably say Michael Jackson.
Yeah,
Um, Michael Jackson, because obviously he's just a creative person.
yeah,
And I would just like to know what was going through his mind um, when, like, when he was coming up in the Jackson 5 and then just ending up having all this success as well. And just understanding, like, his story as well, like, of his dad and stuff and his upbringing.
yeah.
Uh, and then I'll probably have, um, ooh, that's mad. I would have Michael Jordan there, probably. Michael Jordan. I mean, I've got quite a few pairs of Jordans, so just because of that,
Yeah,
and I know what it was like for him. Obviously, having made such a mark on the court, but obviously not just on the court, but being like a household name
yeah,
in terms of like you've got literally kids, adults wanting to go and just buy a pair of Jordans,
yeah.
and like that's his his signature shoe as well.
You're the second person who said Jordan. Jermaine said the same person, yeah.
What was his reason?
Um, Something very like fairly similar to that, like obviously on the core, but then like the business side of it as well. Because we will start talking about. Have you seen the movie with Ben Affleck and I think Matt Damon? Is it?
Oh,
Jordan.
sign like a basketball and make a shoe and stuff.
Yeah, when he's like becoming that first like major like athlete, and Nike wasn't very popular for like basketball sneakers at the time and stuff like that.
Yeah, it was Reebok that was popular and stuff like.
Yeah,
I think it's called like Air
yeah.
or something.
But we're on about that, and obviously the documentary that just came out on Netflix the other year. So he said the same thing for similar reasons.
It's mad because even watching that film, it literally that's when it actually got me thinking. Like he's done that. Like
Yeah,
no one can just make a shoe or a clothing brand and then it's just everyone's wearing it.
it's having that confidence as well, though, isn't it? Because they're like, when he says what he wants for it, and they're like, "But you're a rookie," and he's like,
Mm,
"But I'll be in like the MVP Hall of Fame and stuff like that." Like,
exactly. I could even see, you remember when they were all like at the table talking about all the deals and stuff, and
yeah,
I think at some point they were debating whether they should give him that deal, and
yeah,
they end up doing it, but yeah, it's mad, honestly. The confidence, you're right,
Yeah.
100% mad. Third person, I would probably say, I'll probably say Drake.
It's
I
a good show.
want to know what it feels like to have like the whole industry sort of like switch on you.
Yeah.
You know, of like the Kendrick Lamar beef and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
I would just be interested to just see like where his head's at and what he thinks of the whole thing.
Hmm.
But most importantly, just how he's made so much money off music.
Yeah.
So
Very successful man, to be fair. He's the one who brought Top Boy back as well.
yeah, literally big artist.
So nah, they're very good three, mate. One person that did surprise us was the Michael Jordan. Um, wasn't expecting that one, but I rate it still because he's one of my favorite athletes. I think he's like one of my Hall of Famers, like all
Yeah,
time greatest.
he is. To be fair, no, but like the lifestyle, he's made me actually like basketball.
Yeah,
So I only started watching it because of him. And then obviously now I watch it all the time. But it's just yeah, it's the impact it's had on the sport as well. So
yeah, nah, for definite, mate. Final question: one bit of advice that you would give to your younger self?
um, don't doubt yourself. Don't let anyone talk you out of something that you want to do.
Yeah,
Obviously nothing stupid, but just don't. If you've got a vision and something that you would like to pursue, then do it.
yeah,
And then I would say save your money as well. Obviously, but like save, just
yeah.
save.
Nah, very good advice, mate. Because I always said the two things that I would give advice to myself is start earlier,
Mhm.
and second one is like be careful what you spend because I go like paycheck to paycheck when I was younger and stuff like that. So now I've just finally like this past year is when I've kind of got like everything in order. So I agree with the save money part, 100%.
Do you know what? And it's all to do with like obviously we're still young, so it's like the nightlife, um, weekends as well. You might want to go for food. Food is not a problem, but it's the nightlife where you're drinking, you're doing this and that. So God, just save your money when it comes to that.
Yeah, I've saved so much over these last few months because I couldn't go to town now without spending over 100 quid a night.
Even yeah, I think that's like the minimum now though. It's expensive, like
Really.
just really expensive. Even like I think it's about £7, £8 just for one drink, and
Yeah, some bars it's like £12 a double and stuff like that. So
it's
when
ridiculous.
when you drink rum and coke like me, it's like really really expensive.
But
So
Leeds, in August, I went like for a night out, and I couldn't believe like how much the drinks were. I think I left Leeds. I had spent about 260,
yeah,
and unbelievable. Yeah,
London's even worse, isn't it?
it's even worse because obviously on the way back, we got the train, didn't drive back. So I'm on the train and I'm thinking to myself, I'm hungover, I feel like crap, and I'm looking at my bank as well, and I'm thinking, what am I doing? Like,
Yeah.
what?
I mean, other than the like money side of things, though, like I would never change my like promoting life and stuff like that because I think without that it doesn't shape who you are. So you need those memories at the same time, and everyone needs to experience everything on their own. So I've been through it now. So like for me, drinking doesn't really phase us anymore. Like I'm hitting the back end of 20s now, so now it's time for me to grow up. You've still got a few years, like I said before the pod, so I might only look like a 12-year-old kid, but I'm a little bit older. So I wouldn't worry about it too much for yourself, mate.
Yeah, nah, you know what? Yeah, you're right. It's the memories that matter at the end of the day. But you know what? I want to end up doing what you're doing as well. I think just being on the sober path, and keeping a clean head, and just a healthy body is really important. You know, it
For
helps
sure.
100%.
Definitely, mate. Save money. Obviously, you don't have your hangovers, so you're not losing out on 3 or 4 days and stuff like that. So I still go out. Like we're going to Hexham for a day out with the football team in December. So like 2 weeks time. So we're literally still going out. I go out with them still. So you can still do it. You just don't have to obviously drink and
Drink,
have a good time there. So it just helps.
of course, yeah, definitely.
Dutch courage in that.
That's one of the things that people forget, though. It's like you don't have to drink. It helps, but you don't have to do it.
Yeah. Nah, for definite, mate. And on that little bit of advice there, I'm just going to wrap the pod up. So, once again, just for the viewers, mate, and anyone obviously listening, where can they find you? What social media platforms, everything like that? I will also link everything down in the description as well.
Of course, yeah. So you can find me on Instagram, where you'll be able to see more of me and my music at for Katiyo on Instagram. That's the number 4, and then just my name, Katiyo. And on Snapchat, it's Katiyo5, where I'm more engaging and keeping you like briefed on a day-to-day basis. And then my YouTube channel, where you can find my music videos. It's Katiyo, just plain and simple. And then on Spotify as well, it's just Katiyo.
Perfect, mate. And with that being said, I hope everybody enjoyed the episode. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and turn on the little notification bell as well.